He is very productive. And Doc Rivers is going to be the kind of coach where he's going to be like, even though Daryl Morey, of course, wants to cater to James, Doc Rivers is going to be the kind of coach, hopefully, and it's going to be like, James, you on my team now, brother. You know, you're going to be the number 2. Ben is facilitating. And then also, we got a lineup, obviously, with James and Shake, you know, in the backcourt. And that would be nasty, too, even with Ben on the bench. So if we had James, Shake, EMBIID all on the court at the same time. And then what's popping, guys? Welcome back to another great edition of Simone with the Sports. Make sure you guys like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, because we got something juicy to talk about. So a few days ago, me and a couple of my subscribers, and I'm gonna put the conversation up here, we're discussing the possibility of us being able to trade Tobias Harris for James Harden. Now, I know the first thing you're gonna think is, no way, Jose, are they giving up former MVP James Harden for an overpriced Tobias Harris? But yesterday, or the day before yesterday, it was reported that 2 days ago, James Harden had a fit at practice and he threw his ball at his teammate, y'all. And then this morning, it was just reported that James Harden, they're reinvestigating his little trip to the strip club and trying to see if he's going to be even eligible to play in the beginning of the season with the Rockets because of the COVID-19 protocols he violated. So it's already known James does not want to be with the Rockets, and the Miami Heat just closed their conversations with the Houston Rockets about James Harden. So the Miami Heat are off the table, and the Nets, they looking super fine, nasty good. So I think the Nets is a closed door for Harden. They don't need Harden. They're closing lineup with LeVert, Kyrie, and KD, and all the depth that they have around them. They don't need James Harden. So the Nets and the Heat is just looking like a lock off the table for James Harden. I have seen some little rumors floating around about possibly I keep getting them two mixed up. Jaylen Brown, maybe a trade for James Harden. But what I'm saying is the pickings is slim for where James can go. And since James been acting a fool, y'all, his stock is just all the way to the floor. So that's why I think the Rockets might entertain and probably just need to go ahead and entertain a trade for Tobias Harris. Now, Tobias Harris' average annual salary is around $36 million, whereas James Harden's average annual salary is around $42 million. So we will have to throw in some more assets, possibly like a Korkmaz or some picks in there. But if we had James Harden in our lineup, I know the first thing you guys are thinking about is if we're keeping Ben Simmons. James Harden is a dominant player. He needs to have the ball. He hasn't been able to coexist with another alpha beside him, as you can see with Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. But you guys know I have an answer for everything. Ben Simmons is going to be okay being the Robin to James's Batman, because in all honesty, neither Ben or Joel Embiid have like dominant traits when it comes to like personal characteristics. Neither one of them are dominant. That's why we never really established a leader on the team, because neither one of them have like that alpha male trait. How about that? That's what I want to say. Neither one of them have that alpha male trait. So if James comes, Ben obviously is going to have to maintain facilitating responsibilities, because if James Harden is going to be the primary ball handler for us, then that means Ben must have learned how to shoot. You know what I mean? And based off this preseason and based off what we just seen from Ben's brochure, he's not shooting. But what he does really well is facilitate. And if he is facilitated and James can kind of play that off-ball number 2 position when Ben is on the court with him, that will work beautifully, okay? And James is really productive off the ball, whether he likes to play it or not. He is very productive. And Doc Rivers is going to be the kind of coach where he's going to be like, even though Daryl Morey, of course, wants to cater to James, Doc Rivers is going to be the kind of coach, hopefully, and it's going to be like, James, you on my team now, brother. You know, you're going to be the number 2. Ben is facilitating. And then also we could have a lineup, obviously, with James and Shake, you know, in the backcourt. And that would be nasty too, even with Ben on the bench. So if we had James, Shake, EMBIID all on the court at the same time, and then we have a lineup with Ben and James and EMBIID, I'm seeing us locked. I'm seeing us going toe to toe with the Nets. But let me know what you guys think, okay? Because in my opinion, James's stock is about to hit the floor. And I know some of you guys are pretty much probably like, oh, do we, even if we get to keep Ben Simmons and we get to offload that nasty contract to Tobias Harris, I know some of you guys are probably like, I don't want James anyway, because he, you know, his attitude, it's been stinky, it's been nasty. But the thing about James, before this James wanted out of Houston, which I can understand him wanting out of Houston, we never heard anything bad about James. You never heard nobody talking bad on James Harden's name. None of these NBA players. He hangs out with a whole bunch of rappers, and you know the rappers be the ones with a lot of drama, and you never heard none of them coming out of pocket talking about James. So before James wanted out, James never really acted out of character. You never heard about him. Like, now, of course, you know, he couldn't coexist with other alphas on the court, but nobody's ever had anything negative to say about James off the court until this scenario. So I think James will be fine adapting, and James is going to be in a situation where he wants to win now, period, point blank, period. So he's definitely going to be in go mode, and he's going to kind of know like his window of championship is closing in. But let me know what you guys think, because I had a conversation with a couple of my subs, but I know a lot of y'all probably didn't see us having that conversation in the comments. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's a win-win. We keep Ben, we get James, we get rid of that nasty contract, Tobias, because Tobias really ain't been showing nothing in these preseason games. Like, I mean, the opener is tonight, so we're going to see what he's talking about. We're going to see if Doc, you know, set him up right. But we're going to see. But in the meantime, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Because only a couple of you who watch my videos are subscribed. And what does that mean? What does that say about you? So make sure you subscribe and let me know what you want to hear. Well, I might be back in the studio, guys. I will be back in the studio soon. So my next video, I'll be back in the studio. So let me know what you want to see next time in my next video. Bye.